Hi, welcome to Naked Legal Diaries. I'm a licensed attorney and I will be talking about today the pink sauce debacle. Even though she struck a brand deal with Dave Gourmet Services and she will be on shelves in a lot of places, she still hasn't necessarily escaped liability. And also, I'm going to talk about viral food trends that became disasters and also put even celebrities in hot water. So stay tuned. We are 6 days into July in the Latin world.
Let's talk about pink sauce. This is solely for educational purposes, no hate to anyone involved. What's your favorite condiment? So this creator, by the name of Chef P, created her own concoction, and it's called pink sauce. Jade Amber bought it, and this is what it looks like. So what is it? This is what you see on the website when you try and buy pink sauce. See what the hype is about. It's allegedly dragon fruit, sunflower seed oil, honey, garlic, and chili. And the creator of this pink sauce refuses to tell people what it tastes like. She says it's because she can't describe the taste of it, but others have bought it and now have described it. So people are really confused why she refuses to describe it, either because she wants to sell more or get more hype around it or have people buy it to try it. It's a whole mystery. Well, what are the scandals about? The nutrition facts, how it was originally packaged, and the ingredients list. Let's get into it. First, as you can see here, this is how it was originally packaged. These are plastic bags, and they are plastic containers filled with liquid. How do you think this turned out? It was a mess. This is part 2 of talking about pink sauce. This is only for educational purposes, no hate to anyone involved. What's your favorite color? So here's the pink sauce again. People, when they got their products, when they arrived in the plastic bags, it was a mess. It spilled everywhere. Now let's get into the nutrition label. So first of all, 444 serving, but the serving size is 1 tablespoon. That's around 28 cups. That label is not correct, which means, is anything else on the label actually correct? Mind you, these are not made in a warehouse or a factory. To note, this contains milk in it. Milk products usually need to be refrigerated. There is nothing in the label about refrigeration, nor is there an expiration date on the label. Vinegar is also spelled incorrectly. Well, surely she has her website completely figured out. Wrong. First of all, none of the materials are detailed. All of these are drop down and there's no information in them. And there's random pages like this and no information here on her website. Please be careful buying things on the internet that you consume. This is not FDA approved.
So, consumers of Chef P's pink sauce were questioning a lot of things, such as pricing. So, besides pricing, her customers were more fixated on the following things. Like the key details that they felt that were missing was, what did it taste like? Everyone was demanding an answer. What did it taste like? What was it made out of? And why was it pink? I watched prior videos. She never really gave an answer, but she did say the reason that it did have some form of pink consistency was because of the dragon fruit in it. But she even touted in one of her videos the health benefits. However, she still, as the followers or consumers said, never revealed the ingredients. She claims it was dragon fruit. I watched one video in which Chef P said that she suffered from anxiety and that is how the sauce came about. She never really spoke about the sauce needing to be refrigerated. There was no marking. Notice when you go to a grocery store, it will say after use, please refrigerate. Those things were not printed on the label. A TikToker, Sean SVV, said there weren't enough preservatives in it for the sauce to just sit out. Chef P defended her brand and said, we did a test on them. They sat out for 30 days and they were absolutely fine. And I doubt that because we've had bottles exploding. So There was an issue with the bottles exploding before delivery. As an apology, Chef P said those customers were issued a refund and that she since switched from mail carriers from the United Postal Service to UPS. So let's briefly talk more about liquids exploding in the mail or mail delivery. So when liquids explode in the mail, it depends on one, what are you trying to ship? Two, where are you trying to ship it to? That's why when you go to a post office or a FedEx location, they will read down a list of items and ask you, do you have it? You will be held responsible if a package causes damage. For instance, if it goes or is put on a plane to go into another state or another place. There are certain packages that must be delivered via ground mail. That is a tip for anybody who plans to do any shipping of foods or other liquids that can become flammable. So for perishable items, you should have them in a styrofoam cooler and make sure the cooler is secure in the box along with the product. Temperatures fluctuate as you travel. So if you've ordered anything from Amazon that is borderline like gummy bear vitamins, I've noticed since the summer they've put them in a cooler or put ice packs. And depending on what you order, the other day I ordered these vegetables that I love and they put them in a cooler. So you want to make sure that as a business owner that you're taking those precautions. So Chef P claims that 50 customers received refunds for their packages exploding. I don't really know how true that is because I have not seen anybody come out and verify that. I saw one interview with a woman and she was disappointed and wanted her to do the right thing and issue a refund. However, just like Chef P, some of the things seem to be a lot of bluff and flowery stuff going on there. Her consumers are about the same. There is a statement like father, like son. I feel like business owner, like consumers. Chef P consumers are a little bit like her too. The whole reason I found out about the pink sauce debacle was when it went viral with the memes and the social media posts. It was funny. One of the things were the fake hospital footage, which really got my attention. Up to now, no one can verify that's true. Journalists have looked into these claims and have yet to verify that someone went to the hospital as a result of consuming pink sauce. And I think that the narrative did spin out of control, even though I do believe there is some bluffery that went on in between that whole chaotic mess. So there was a mime account that posted this picture with someone with an IV and it said the caption, "Do not eat the pink sauce from TikTok." Posts like this inadvertently sparked rumors that people had gone to the hospital because of a sauce. But we, as I reiterated, have not found any evidence that's true. So one user posted a video on TikTok, their only upload, saying that they went to the hospital after eating the product, but even TechCrunch attempted to verify these claims and couldn't. However, before there was a pink sauce, there was the sunflower soup, which was a TikTok trend. And it was the latest fad, and this person has rightfully wiped any signs clean of its existence. But I have some footage.
I mean, I don't know how many times I gotta tell you how to go on the place y'all order because the link is in the bio. Girl, nobody finna buy no motherfucking sunflower soup. Yeah, man. Right, bitch, nobody want that damn shit. But let's just say you order some. Wait the fuck you supposed to come in, bitch, because I ordered this shit last week. Gotta go on the place y'all order because the link is in the bio. I read the link in the bio. Let's get. Congratulations!
So there was something that Chef P said that got to me despite all the other videos I watched and her interviews. And I felt like it was like a man who tries to mansplain something very ridiculous that they did. She said, quote unquote, we didn't get the opportunity like other small businesses to go through trial and error, to learn through our mistakes and recover from them. We didn't have that opportunity because we blew up so fast. We went viral so fast. And that's problematic, especially when it comes to food and there's serious and severe consequences that can take place. If I was her lawyer, I would have been on the floor hyperventilating after I heard that. An example of it's not the trial and error fairy tale in this flowery language that was used to paint a grave breach in food product distribution is Bobby Fillet and Gwyneth Paltrow and the Daily Harvest. So the Daily Harvest was a startup company valued at $1 billion that had to be called its French lentil and leek crumbles after individuals reported being sick after eating the product. And this is not memes. This is not no social media post. This is fact. It's verifiable. So an influencer had their gallbladder removed. So it's not just, the fairy tale of trial and error of a small business. Nah, it's not that when you're dealing with food. A Cosmopolitan digital director reported having to go to the hospital and documented her medical issues. On Reddit, others reported similar symptoms. Later on, the Daily Harvest released a statement that Tara Flour was the culprit behind the medical issues, and it wasn't listed on the package. It was not listed on the package. What kinds of lawsuits can proceed from this pink sauce viral flogging? Deceptive marketing practices, product labeling and false advertising, and misleading consumer lawsuits. There are laws within several states for many different things, such as cottage cheese. So what she did was not so light, and it wasn't trial and error. I am happy that despite the misinformation out there, that people are becoming aware of their rights. I am glad that in the live that they called her out on the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. Companies behind the labels are having to face challenges in courts over them. She committed a significant error behind labeling, and it's not an oversight legally. Just over the course of years, I have even joked with a relative about suing a well-known franchise for making claims and their food not being as stated. However, we have people that do that, and we have lawyers that take those cases, and they have settled for significant amounts of money. Actually, there are even advocacy groups that have increased their commencement of lawsuits due to their issues with food regulators not doing enough, or they're feeling like they're not doing their jobs. Food mislabeling lawsuits revolve around the following issues. Were the products, one, all natural? Is there an ingredient, an artificial flavor? What are the origins of the ingredient? Absence or presence of ingredients on a label. Claims about ancillary representations. Was a product really sustainably farmed or humanly raised? It comes down to this in a lawsuit. So you might think that you are trying to market, make some quick cash or some money, but it does not play out or translate when someone decides to sue you in a court of law. The latest and the most famous lawsuit that stands out in my mind are the Subway lawsuits. Two California women sued Subway saying that their sub sandwiches did not actually contain tuna fish. One of the cases were only dismissed on procedural grounds, which has nothing to do with the validity of the claims. Last month, on July 13, 2022, a federal judge refused to dismiss the case with plaintiff Nalima Amin of Alameda County, California, on the basis of Subway misrepresenting to her and other consumers, stating that their products contain tuna and 100% tuna fish. The plaintiff was suing for fraud, false advertising, and unfair competition. In fact, Amin had a marine biologist test at least 20 samples of tuna offerings from 20 different Subway restaurants and did not find any tuna DNA sequences in 19 samples. She claims other types of animal DNA were found, such as chicken and pork. Another notable case was the Animal Legal Defense Funds versus Homo Food Corp. Initially, the Animal Legal Defense Funds brought a case against Homo Foods Corp. That was thrown out by a lower court because it did not have standing. So what does standing mean? In layman's terms, it means that you have to be personally affected. An organization, a business entity, excluding people, cannot really be affected by food. How can a business entity actually taste the food? And we're not talking about the people who run it, people who work or report to that business entity. Therefore, the lower court threw out the lawsuit. However, they appealed, and on the appeal, the District of Columbia Court of Appeals ruled that the Animal Legal Defense Fund had the right to bring a case against Homo Foods for quote-unquote natural choice advertising and sent the matter to trial. They were able to bring this case under the D.C. Consumer Protection Procedures Act. And remember, I said earlier that when you are sending food and you're distributing it to different states, there are different laws, there are different things that must be followed, regulations, and you can find yourself in legal hot water. Normally, it is the consumers affected by products and not organizations banding together for consumers that are able to bring these type of lawsuits. Other nonprofits banded together, such as the Public Justice and the Richmond Law Group. A spokesperson for the group cited the court's ruling as a day for consumers to gain transparency, and the public deserved not to be misled, quote unquote, when making choices about food. So the Animal Legal Defense Fund spokesperson let us know that some of the claims that a layperson can make. 1, I depended on the accuracy of the food and product labels. That's why I said it's not laissez-faire, it's not really over for her. A lawsuit could be uploading as I'm speaking now. To make safe and informed decisions. We know that we rely on food labels, especially if you're a dieter or you are a bodybuilder, because we use it in order to get our summer bodies, especially if you count calories to maintain your weight. So food labels are important. It's not something to be taken lightly. Labels that are misleading violate both municipal, county, or town and federal laws. Deceptive product labels can violate both state and federal laws. So this woman was shipping products across states. That's why I was saying if I was a lawyer, I would have been on the floor hyperventilating when she minimized what she did. So the FDA isn't the only one. I'm glad people called on it, but it's not the only one that she should be concerned about, nor her lawyers.
Money, 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 money.
Now I'm going to turn my attention to companies in which they settled for a handsome amount. One, the Ghirardelli Chocolate Company. I love their chocolates. In Miller versus Ghirardelli Chocolate Company, the plaintiff sued on different grounds. But a few of the grounds that they sued on was one, the company mislabeled its white chips and other products that would mislead consumers into believing that the products contained white chocolate. Two, they also sued because Ghirardelli sold products as all quote unquote all natural, even though it contained genetically modified, hormone treated, or chemically extracted ingredients. As a result, a judge approved a $5.2 million settlement agreement for anyone who purchased products from 2008 to 2014.
Money, 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 money.
The second case that settled for a handsome amount of money is involving Cargill Inc. and its product Truvia Sweetener. In Howardtown versus Cargill Inc., Cargill Inc. was sued for its Truvia Sweetener being marketed as being quote-unquote natural, when in fact it contained synthetic and chemically produced ingredients. Cargill Inc. settled for $6.1 million, of which included $1.8 million for attorney fees. A part of the settlement agreement included that Cargill make the following label changes. One, put a notice on its label for consumers to go to the Truvia website for clarification on how the ingredients are made. So Chef P's consumers and others that were making those demands, they were not unreasonable. They weren't crazy. They were simply stating stuff that they were allowed to according to the law. Second, provide clarity as to that it's quote-unquote natural calorie-free sweetener and quote-unquote Truvia natural sweetener offers the equivalent amount of sweetness as 2 teaspoons of sugar statements. Then also it needed to remove this phrase of quote-unquote similar to making tea from all Truvia packaging. This outcome was a result of the lawsuit disputing whether fermentation process was used to gain the stevia extract was really similar to distilling tea in a teapot. So I hope after this breakdown and all the analysis and cases and stuff that I have went through in this video, that you understand that what she did was not a trial and error of a small business. This is not clothing. This wasn't selling shoes. This wasn't jewelry. It's playing with people's life and how long they could be on this planet. So I'm just surprised that with all the media attention that she hasn't been put on a docket yet. I'm glad that she got control of her emotions because I saw that TikTok live and she started to take what they would call in PR. Good press, bad press is still good press, and use it to her benefit. If you like what I had to say here, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, drop a comment. What do you want me to talk about? What law, what case, what documentary you saw highlighting the laws that you would like me to break down? I would love to hear what you're thinking. Bye for now.